Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bruce Scott Show. Now, some of you may have seen my political and news commentary type videos. If you haven't, you need to go back and check them out anyways. But we're going to branch out and bring many different kind of genres to you, and one of the things we want to do is some movie reviews. So this is going to be my first reviewing a movie that all of you probably have at least heard of, which was Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, after being disappointed by The Force Awakens, I really didn't have much interest in seeing this next installment. But started getting a lot of hype, a lot of people were saying good things about it, so I said, oh, I don't know, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to check it out. Now, this movie was directed by Gareth Edwards. I'd never heard of him before, maybe some of you have. And it tells the tale of Jyn Erso, who unfortunately watches her mother being murdered right in front of her. And her father is forced to go with the Empire to build, or to develop the plans to build the Death Star. So she was left an orphan, kind of to fend for herself, but not completely fend for herself. Introducing Saw Gerrera, played by Forest Whitaker. And of course, Forest Whitaker did what Forest Whitaker does. He played the role well. I don't know if I necessarily like all the writing for that character, and there wasn't really any development for the character over the course of the movie. And that's a problem really with the whole movie, is character development. The movie starts out, like I said, with Jyn and her plight, and then it goes on to start to spotlight some of the other cast in this movie. And all of these, whether it be Diego Luna, Donnie Yen, and none of these characters that they brought to us ever develop any emotional ties with you. I don't know if it's poor casting, I don't know if it's poor writing, I don't know if it was poor directing, but let me just say that the first hour and a half of this movie was agonizing. Had I not gone to the movie with a group of friends, I'm quite sure I would have left. And then about an hour through the movie, I noticed something that I was not looking for. I did not go into this movie trying to think of it from a political perspective whatsoever. But this movie is one big pandering multiculturalism piece of garbage for the first hour and a half. It picks up later in the movie, but we'll get to that. But why do I say it's a multicultural pandering fest? Because not one of the major heroes in this movie is a Caucasian male. They have two Asian males, of course the powerful female, a black man, and a Spanish guy. You know, which is fine. I have no problem with including everybody, and the universe should be more than just white guys. But not one single major heroic figure was a Caucasian male. Now, Jyn's father, was he good? Was he bad? His motives were dubious at best. But on the other hand, every single major villain was a white man. This line of media irresponsibility is, I'm not going to go into this because it's a movie review, but it's absolutely criminal, and it's doing nothing but push us apart. But anyways, that's enough of that, but it's just an observation. Check out the movie if you dare, and you'll notice that I'm absolutely telling the truth on this matter. Now, we'll go over a little bit about some of the individual performances. Felicity Jones is a good little actress. I had not seen a lot that she's in. I know you probably say I don't get out much, but there's a narrow window of movies that I do like. But she played the role well. I have to give it to her. Jen Wen, that played Blaze, was horrible. Nothing he did was believable, whether it was a fight scene or his dialogue. I don't know what this guy's acting credits were, but this guy in this movie was absolutely botchamania. Donnie Yen, who of course was famous for playing Ip Man, got a lot of character. He just has kind of the it factor. He does bring something to the table. There's a scene in there that, in my opinion, is kind of ridiculous. He uses the Force to get him to a particular goal, and the minute he accomplishes the goal, then the Force seems to just leave him and bad things happen to him. This is spoiler free, so I'm not going to say exactly what happens to him. It was an implorable piece of writing. Excuse me, it was an implausible piece of writing. Now, the last hour of the movie, good stuff started happening. They had, it's not really giving much away, saying that they brought back a lot of the old characters. I think everybody really knows that. They had Grand Moff Tarkin in there. It was amazing, in my opinion, what they did with that CGI. Some other people have kind of condemned it, I heard. I thought that was really good work. They brought back, I don't want to give you all the characters they brought back. The ones they brought back kind of brought some heart and soul to the second half of this movie. But that's a problem. If the only real interest in the movie is the old stuff that you brought back, then you've really accomplished nothing in this movie. You know, I remember, the prequels. You know, I was kind of mez about some of the prequels. But comparing this movie to the prequels, there's actually no comparison. The prequels are even much better than this. It seems like every 3 movies, they're trying to degrade these franchise worse and worse. The original 3 were great, then the 3 prequels were pretty good. Now these second 2 are kind of heading towards Stinkerville. To say that the first hour and a half of this movie was a steaming pile of dog poop is an insult to dog poop. Now, at least in the prequels, they brought us some good characters. They brought us Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn, and Ewan McGregor played Obi-Wan beautifully. And that's also part of the problem with this movie, is casting. They did a horrible job casting. They were so busy trying to stick multiculturalism where it don't belong that they didn't bother to take the time to get the right people for the roles. You know, I just watched a documentary with George Lucas about the first 3 movies. He talked about particularly the first movie, how he went through literally thousands of auditions to get Luke, Leia, Han, etc. That didn't happen here. All they did was basically put something together they can slap on a lunchbox and they can merchandise and give it to you. There was almost no emotional impact to any of this movie. But I would say the one scene that brought any emotional impact was the absolute last scene of the movie. And of course I won't tell you what that is. It ties everything into episode 4, A New Hope. But what this movie basically did was leave me with no hope that I'll ever see a good Star Wars movie again. So if you really must go see this movie, do not pay full price. Pay matinee at best. And show up an hour and a half late. Because all you're going to do is miss an hour and a half of garbage. The last hour, it was kind of fun. There were some good battle scenes. The whole characters brought good flavor to the ending. So out of 5 stars, I would give this movie maybe 2 stars, and that would be being exceedingly generous. So that's it for the Bruce Scott Show. Hope to see you again soon. Hold on. Before you go to the next video, reach your little finger down, hit the subscribe button, and remember to comment, like, and most importantly, share. Thank you.